greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will fix it. That was a quote by Sir Robert Swan in an interview with the Huffington Post in 2012. And those words could not be truer today than they are when he's spoken. My name is Scott Roark, and today I'm giving you a persuasive speech in hopes that I can change all your minds to become more eco-friendly or eco-conscientious. My love for the outdoors and this planet started back when I was a kid, where I was catching tadpoles in my parents' pond. It led to my love of the ocean, where I've met hundreds of, if not thousands of beautiful sea creatures in my 13 years of being a Navy diver. From seeing sunsets on Mount Mauna Kea to seeing wild penguins in South America, I'm left with a true appreciation for all this wonderful world has to offer. But I'm incredible to speak about becoming more green because I myself have converted and made more healthier, eco-friendly, conscientious decisions. Right now as it stands, this planet is greatly affected by all the choices we make, from how we shop, how we get to work, what we eat. And if we do not make serious changes, the choices will greatly affect our health and our planet. Taking an active role in reducing our carbon footprint should not be seen as a lifestyle choice, but more of a responsibility, an obligation we all have to this planet, since we are all here contributing to its mess. At the end of the speech, I hope that I have conveyed this message enough and made you change your views, and you have taken this message and spread it to your friends, your family, your coworkers, your community, that becoming more environmentally active is a responsibility and not a lifestyle choice. To start, let's talk about how going more green can help your health. Who here is concerned about what they eat or where it comes from? One of the biggest obstacles we face to reducing our carbon footprint is our obsession with meat. According to EPA in 2015, livestock and livestock production accounts for most of the methane produced in the atmosphere. Methane is one of the greenhouse gases that deteriorate our ozone. I believe that if everyone were to make the choice to not eat meat for one day of the week, every week for the rest of the year, that would have a huge impact on not just your health, but the health of this planet. Let me explain. Americans eat on average about 270 pounds of meat. That's a pretty substantial amount. If we were to eat less meat, there would be a need for less meat production. Less meat production would also mean that we would have greater impacts on our environment. According to the American Heart Association, in June 2014, a journal report said that men who regularly eat meat have a greater risk of heart failure or heart dysfunctions, which will lead to deaths, than those people who do not eat meat. Therefore, the science proves that if you eat more meat, you're more likely to have heart problems or death than people who don't. So, if we eat less meat, less production, which is better for the environment, you eat less meat, you have better health. To explain how eating less meat or less meat production would help with the greenhouse gases, let me explain how methane is produced. Methane is a byproduct of a livestock's natural response to eating food. It's their manure. Having lots of food production increases the amount of manure, which increases the amount of methane released into the atmosphere. Going greener can also be we can become more healthier by by riding our bikes, carpooling, or simply walking, which is great for your health and also the environment. Now that we've just talked about how going greener is better for your health, let's talk about how going greener is better for the environment. Remember how I was just talking about methane? Well, something even worse than food production is what we have in landfills. Manure in food production accounts for 10% of methane released into the atmosphere, whereas landfills produce 18%. Just think about the 33.6 million pounds of 36 tons of plastic gets thrown into the waste. Only 6.5 of it gets recycled, and 7.7 gets combusted into energy facilities, according to Renee Cho article in 2012, What Happens to All the Plastic of Columbia University. It doesn't have to be this way. How many of you go to the grocery store and get your food and put it in these plastic bags when you get your produce? How many of these then take these bags when you go to check out, and you stick them into this bag. Whenever plastic gets into the landfill, it sits there for approximately 1,000 years before it starts to decompose and then go into our soil and our water. My proposal is that instead of trying to become better at recycling our plastic, I say we just don't use it. There's nothing saying that you have to put this in a plastic bag when you're at the store. You can let your food mingle. Let it roll around the cart. Nothing bad's going to happen to it. You're going to wash it when you get home anyways. And at the end of that, when you get to the checkout, have some of these bags. Keep them in your car so that way whenever you do go to your store, they're already in your car. And all you have to do is take them in there with you. And you can then take your food and put it into your bag. And there's been no plastic use. Now, I'm not saying that you have to use your plastic bags every time you go to the grocery store. But if we definitely reduce the amount we use, hopefully that will help out with what gets into the landfill. I have also made changes on using plastic utensilware, something you see every day at a fast food place or anywhere, to having bamboo utensils, and I carry everywhere I go, which helps reduce my plastic usage. Now we just talked about the different plastic usage, let's talk about how this will impact future generations. I recently saw a video of Leonardo DiCaprio in 2016 that talked about before the flood. Before the flood went on to say about how these core samples were taken from glaciers, and these glaciers are now no longer existent because of how the greenhouse gases are affecting our ozone layer. So my proposal is that if we do not make certain changes, and I mean quick, what will end up happening is that we will no longer have glaciers. The more methane that goes in the atmosphere, methane eats away the ozone then melts the glaciers. When the glaciers melt, water goes into the sea levels rise, and we have an increase of extreme weather, climate change. Hotter summers, colder winters, you see droughts, you see tornadoes. And right now, changes have to happen. Whenever we get done the phone call, we make the phrase, hang up the phone. Which, if you look at generations now who have cell phones, they don't understand what hang up the phone means because we don't actually hang up anything. Instead, they're now a generation that believes in end call. So we say the phrase, hang up the phone, it doesn't really register them because it's not part of their culture. If we do not make these changes, I fear that glaciers will become something that they have no reference to because they did not grow up seeing what glaciers were. I know it's a lot to make these changes, but it's just like with Everest. You don't climb Everest in one step. You take a little step here, a little step there, one step forward, and then next thing you know, you've climbed Everest. My hopes is that after having this speech with you, you guys will all make the changes. You will spread the word to have a healthier lifestyle, to eat healthier, reduce your plastic use, and hopefully save glaciers. Thank you for your time, and let's go climb Everest.